And you got to believe, oh, down goes Dungey. And now Anderson and Seeley battling for the win. Jason Anderson and Husqvarna win Anaheim.
The most anticipated Supercross race of the year is now in the history books, and the racing and drama did not disappoint. We have lots of crazy stuff to talk about from this past week in Supercross. Got a few fast minutes? We're going to fast forward for you and give you the week's highlights of the world's greatest sport starting right now.
Oh, and he makes a mistake.
And
That's
he
gonna
costs him. Here he comes. Webb is right there.
So I was out west this week, and I've never seen so much friggin' rain dump on California. It was wetter than RC's gear after 2 laps. Everyone was expecting a mutter, but amazingly, the track was mostly dry and the racing was on. First, let's get the 250s out of the way. After a hyper-successful off-season racing 450 GPs, Euro Supercross, and even Moto Des Nations, yes, I still say Des because I'm sophisticated like that. 250 Supercross defending champ Cooper Webb is faster than ever. In the main, Jesse Nelson pulled a killer hole shot and held on for a long time, but not even he could hold the Cooper train from rolling on through. Coop handily took the W in fine, fast fashion. I'm scared for his West Coast competition because, to be honest, he made it look pretty easy.
Oh, down goes Peick. Oh, and he...
On to the 450s. Weston, Peick. The biggest headline was the Peick and Vince Friese fight in the semi. Everyone calls it a fight, but it was not a fight at all. It was just a beating. These two pit bulls have a lot of history. Friese has a history of really dirty riding, and Peick is known to front kick bikes until they're dead. Well, they came together multiple times in the night, and when Friese took Peick down one more time in the semi, we could see the smoke coming from under Peick's helmet, and he rock'em socked Friese one haymaker after another, mostly on the back of Friese's helmet, shoved him, then gave him the road rage salute, all on live TV. Did Friese deserve it? Sure. Was Peick in the wrong? Of course. This isn't MMA. Weston, think about the children. Now, I fully understand it, Peick Tyson, but you just can't felony assault someone on the track. It was pretty out of control, and Friese is lucky Peick wasn't carrying a knife.
Anderson back around Stewart, and Dungey goes right into Stewart.
All the cage fighting aside, there was the most anticipated gate drop of the season to get to. And who knew there would be 2 of them? A few laps into the 450 main, Dungey and Stewart came together, and Stu went down hard enough on his head to knock him unconscious. There's a ton of debate as to whose fault it was, back and forth, but ultimately, it was just a racing incident. My personal take is Dungey cut uncharacteristically short into the turn, while Stu cut down at a bad time early in the race with a lot of traffic right behind him. 2 less good decisions with 1 bad result. That's racing. Stewart is now day-to-day, so hopefully we see him back by San Diego or soon after. If you'd like to debate your riding buddies about this because you have a big mouth like that, check out one of the better breakdowns at Vurbmoto by Keller Brower at the link below.
Here we go. The revs come up. The intensity follows. Here's the gate drop.
Anyway, that race was red flag because Stewart was knocked out on the track, so they had to do a do-over. In the second gate drop, there was lots of drama and battles for position, too much to mention in this short episode, but basically, Fast Factory Honda pilot Cole Seeley pulled the whole shot and led most of the race until his haunting rival Husqvarna's Jason Anderson tactfully passed several of the fastest riders on the planet, including Seeley, to take the lead. Dungey and Seeley completed the podium for second and third.
Oh, down goes Dungey!
Canard pushes.
Also, Anderson had a big get-off in practice. He flew over a berm and his bike went flying into a crowd of riders and mechanics in the staging area, but he still managed that dominating win later in the night. This kid is excitement. Not so exciting. Fast starter Justin Barcia started in second place and went backwards all the way to 15th, partly blamed on arm pump. I think Weston Peick wasn't the only one feeling the JGR pressure on this opening night. More quirky fast notes. After breaking multiple bones just a few weeks ago in a crash, Factory Suzuki team manager Mike Webb on Racer X said Blake Baggett is already back practicing on his bike. How is that? Today's sports medicine is unbelievable. 2 of Alden Baker's athletes make the podium at A1, while Monster Pro Circuit's Adam Cianciarulo, aka Baby Jesus, just announced he has parted ways with Alden. Is that a smart move, Adam? Literally every recent top-winning pro that dropped Baker did not do nearly as well thereafter. Stewart, Roczen, have you heard of these guys? I know his program is super hardcore, he makes you get out of bed early, but he limits his service to only the very, very top elite. My opinion is, if he looks at you and says, hey, I'll deliver you a championship, you should say, aye sir, where's my puke bucket? The two most famous number 2 living legends, Jeremy McGrath and Ryan Villopoto, were hanging out together at A1 under the factory Cowie tent, and Trsansworld caught a cool little interview with them together. The coolest mention is how MC describes how Ryan called him on the phone and actually asked him if it was okay to use the number 2, basically asking for the king's blessing. I think that's a pretty neat phone call, and imagine being a fly on that wall. Speaking of flies, Trsansworld did this interview with Fly Racing's pro athlete manager Max Steffens. Smooth transition, you like that? You see what I did there? Steffens mentions how he believes fallen from grace former outlaw champ J-Law started the ever-popular trend of non-matching gloves to rebel against Yamaha. Around here, you can never go too long without mentioning outlaw J-Law. It's also mentioned how during photo shoot, former pro David Vuillemin wouldn't shut up about having to wear what he called this ugly, ugly fly racing gear. Well, less known tidbit is right after that photo shoot, he might as well have been left at the track in his tighty whities because they fired his French derrière the very next day. Another really random fast note. At A1, retired champ Grant Langston was presented with sort of a replica of one of his championship bikes, which was stolen right from his shop, Langston Motosport, several years ago, and they never recovered all those exotic parts. It just so happened that I went to that shop that morning after the bikes were stolen. There was glass all over the showroom floor, police tape everywhere, and a big gaping hole in the wall where this truck busted through for the smash and grab. The funny part was, there was a reward picture posted in the shop that said, "Wanted. Have you seen this truck?" I stared at that and I thought, they're probably going to have a tough time narrowing that down. True story. And it seems like they did. All the riders were back practicing by Monday after A1, prepping for round 2 at San Diego. A bunch of them were getting their laps did over at Milestone, where Motosport made this California dreamy video. Keep loving this greatest sport on earth, don't forget to subscribe, and we'll catch you on our next episode of FastFwdMX.